Their scientific name, Odobinus rosmaris, means tooth-walking seahorse. There are two subspecies of walrus, the Atlantic walrus and the Pacific walrus. Walruses are known for their distinctive tusks, which are elongated upper canine teeth. Both male and female walruses have tusks, but those of males are larger and more prominent. Walrus tusks can grow up to 3 feet in length. These tusks are used for various purposes including defense, cutting through ice, and hauling themselves out of the water onto ice floes. Walruses are found in the Arctic regions of the Northern Hemisphere. They inhabit shallow coastal areas and continental shelves, preferring waters with depths ranging from 65 to 260 feet. Walruses have a thick layer of blubber under their skin, which helps to insulate them and regulate their body temperature in cold waters. The skin of a walrus is quite thick, up to 2.5 inches in some places, providing protection against the harsh Arctic environment. They have a barrel-shaped body and short, powerful limbs adapted for swimming and moving across ice. The flippers of a walrus are used for steering while swimming and for hauling themselves out of the water. Walruses are excellent swimmers and can reach speeds of up to 22 miles per hour in short bursts. They are primarily bottom feeders, using their sensitive whiskers to detect shellfish and other prey on the ocean floor. Walruses primarily feed on benthic invertebrates such as clams, mussels, snails, and worms. They use their muscular lips and suction to draw prey out of their shells. Walruses are capable of diving to depths of up to 260 feet to forage for food. Despite their large size, walruses are agile and capable of navigating through sea ice. Walrus mothers are very protective of their calves and will defend them fiercely from potential threats. Calves typically stay close to their mothers for the first 2 years of their lives. Walruses are highly social animals and can often be found in large herds, especially during the breeding season. During the breeding season, males establish dominance hierarchies through displays of size and tusking strength. Walruses are known for their loud vocalizations, including bellows, grunts, and roars, especially during the breeding season. Walruses communicate with each other using a variety of vocalizations and body language. They have excellent hearing both in air and underwater, which helps them communicate and detect predators. Walruses have relatively poor eyesight, especially in murky water, but their other senses compensate for this. Walruses have been known to form, haul-out, sites where they come ashore to rest, socialize, and bask in the sun. These haul-out sites can sometimes consist of thousands of individuals. Walruses are vulnerable to disturbances at haul-out sites, such as human activities, which can cause stampedes and disrupt social behavior. Climate change poses a significant threat to walruses, as it affects their sea ice habitat and availability of prey. Loss of sea ice due to climate change forces walruses to travel longer distances to find suitable habitat and foraging grounds. Walruses are preyed upon by polar bears and killer whales, especially young calves and injured individuals. Historically, walruses were hunted by indigenous peoples for their meat, blubber, tusks, and other body parts, which were used for food, clothing, tools, and ceremonial purposes. Commercial hunting of walruses for their blubber, ivory, and hides occurred extensively in the 18th and 19th centuries, leading to population declines in some regions. Walruses are now protected under various international agreements and conservation measures, including the Marine Mammal Protection Act and the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Despite conservation efforts, walrus populations continue to face threats from habitat loss, pollution, shipping traffic, and oil and gas development. Walruses are important ecological indicators of the health of Arctic marine ecosystems. They play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of marine food webs by controlling populations of their prey species. Walruses are also important cultural symbols for indigenous peoples of the Arctic, who have relied on them for thousands of years for sustenance, material resources, and spiritual significance. Inuit and other indigenous cultures have developed traditional hunting methods and cultural practices related to walruses. Walrus ivory has been used by indigenous peoples to create intricate carvings and artwork for thousands of years. The Inuit have long believed that walruses have spiritual significance and possess special powers. Inuit legends and folklore often depict walruses as powerful and wise beings. Walruses have been depicted in art, literature, and mythology throughout human history, appearing in ancient cave paintings, medieval manuscripts, and modern media. The walrus has been immortalized in popular culture through characters such as the walrus and the carpenter in Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, and the Beatles' song, I Am the Walrus. The walrus has also been featured in numerous films, cartoons, and children's books. Walruses have a lifespan of up to 40 years in the wild, although some individuals may live longer in captivity. Female walruses typically reach sexual maturity at around 5 to 6 years of age, while males mature later, at around 8 to 10 years. Walruses have a relatively slow reproductive rate compared to other marine mammals, with females typically giving birth to a single calf every 2 to 3 years. The gestation period for walruses is approximately 15 to 16 months, including a delayed implantation period of several months. Walrus calves are born on land or ice floes and are able to swim within hours of birth. Newborn walrus calves are highly dependent on their mothers for nourishment, protection, and guidance. Walruses are polygynous, meaning that dominant males may mate with multiple females during the breeding season. The mating season for walruses typically occurs in late winter or early spring, with births occurring in late spring or early summer. Walruses have a low reproductive rate and are vulnerable to population declines due to factors such as habitat loss, pollution, and hunting pressure. Walrus populations are monitored by scientists and conservation organizations using a variety of methods, including aerial surveys, satellite tracking, and genetic analysis. Fossil evidence suggests that walruses have been around for millions of years, with ancestors dating back to the Miocene epoch. The closest living relatives of the walrus are the earless seals and eared seals, which together make up the pinned group of marine mammals. The walrus is considered a keystone species in Arctic marine ecosystems, meaning that it plays a disproportionately large role in maintaining the structure and function of its habitat. Walruses are important ecosystem engineers, shaping their environment through feeding, foraging, and haul-out behaviors. The presence of walruses can influence the distribution and abundance of other species in their ecosystem, including prey species and competitors. Walruses are known to modify their habitat by creating depressions in the seafloor, known as walrus gardens, through their feeding activities. These depressions provide microhabitats for a variety of benthic organisms and can increase overall biodiversity in the ecosystem. Walruses are also important nutrient recyclers, as they transport nutrients from deeper waters to the surface through their feeding and defecation. The decline of walrus populations could have cascading effects on Arctic marine ecosystems, impacting other species and ecosystem processes. Walruses are important cultural and spiritual symbols for indigenous peoples of the Arctic, who have relied on them for thousands of years for food, clothing, tools, and spiritual significance.